She slowly laid her head down upon the old tattered pillows. If only she could whisper back through time to the young girl she was, to tell her that things would be better one day. This is the agony of the Palace Maid. Once upon a time in the kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a young maiden named Ada. Ada was the embodiment of innocence and kindness. Ada was the loving daughter of humble farmers who toiled tirelessly under the scorching sun. Their love for each other and their land was as boundless as the sky itself. But on a fateful day, tragedy struck when a devastating illness swept through the village, leaving a trail of sorrow and despair. Before anyone could say Jack Robinson, Ada's world was shattered. The illness claimed the life of her parents, leaving her orphaned and alone in a world. Ada would always lock herself up in the little hut, crying. One day, Amara, Ada's best friend, who was working in the palace as a maid, came visiting. She told Ada there was vacancy at the palace. Ada decided to sought refuge within the grand walls of the royal palace. She was happy to find another family there rather than stay in her hut all day. The next day, Amara packed her bags and escorted her to the palace. Ada met other maidens who wanted to work in the palace too. She became so scared that she would not get the position of a maid in the palace. The maidens were put to different tests and interviews, including cooking skills and cleaning. At the end of the contest, Ada passed the test and she was really excited. Amara was so happy for her. She welcomed her into her arms, promising to help her find solace amidst the struggles of the palace. Together, they navigated the palace. Ada found solace in the familiar embrace of her friend, while Amara found joy in Ada's company. Ada worked so hard in the palace. She was so dedicated to her duties. As days turned to weeks, Ada's gentle nature and unwavering dedication caught the attention of the queen, who saw her in a very rare blend of humility and strength. Impressed by Ada's diligence, the queen appointed her as her personal assistant, entrusting her with tasks of great importance and responsibility. Ada was so happy. She rushed to tell her friend Amara. Amara was so shocked but pretended to be happy. Thoughts started going through her mind. Why would the queen choose Ada and not me? I have been working in this palace for quite some time now, she said. Envy and ambition lurked in the shadows. Amara, who was once Ada's closest friend, she began harboring secret desires of her own, longing for recognition and power within the royal palace. Consumed by jealousy, Amara devised plots to undermine Ada's newfound position and reclaim her own stand in the queen's favor. She told lies and deception, poisoning the queen's mind against Ada and sowing seeds of doubt. But the queen, she still loved Ada, and this got Amara so angry. One day, Amara tried to poison Ada's food, but one of the palace maid who was Ada's roommate saw her trying to poison the food and she exchanged the food. Amara started saying that Ada was a witch. She wondered how she ate the meal and did not die. Oluchi, which was Ada's roommate, told Ada about Amara's plot to eliminate her, but Ada could not believe it, being that Amara has been her childhood friend. Amara proceeded to stealing the queen's expensive jewelry and hiding it in Ada's bag. But again, Oluchi caught her. This time, Oluchi reported her to the queen. Ada could not believe her eyes. The queen was so angry and disappointed by Amara. She ordered the guards to dismiss Amara from the palace. Ada was so sad because she knew Amara since she was a child and they have been friends for years. She wondered why Amara would betray her that way. Months passed and Ada continued her duty in the palace. Ada and Oluchi got so close. Oluchi was a good friend and always supported her. Even though they have not met for a very long time, it's not about who's been there. It's about who shows up for you when no one will. One fateful night, as Ada tended her duties in the queen's chambers, the king, consumed by his desires and blinded by his power, forced himself on Ada, violating her innocence and shattering her dreams in an instant. Ada cried out her voice in regret. She regretted the day she was born. She didn't know where to go to. She couldn't tell anyone because the king already threatened to kill her if she does. Days after days, Ada would lock herself up in her room crying. She refused to talk to anyone or share anything with anyone. She couldn't carry out her duties in the palace effectively. The queen noticed how Ada was and summoned her to her chambers. She asked Ada what was wrong with her and that she should share it with her. Ada said she was still feeling the pains of her parents' death. The queen did not believe Ada, but she had to let her go, telling her that she could talk to her about anything. Few weeks later, Ada was pregnant, and somehow the queen found out about Ada's pregnancy when she heard her conversation with Oluchi. The next day, the queen, looking so terrified and angry, disappointed at Ada, decided to get rid of Ada. But Oluchi heard this conversation and rushed immediately to tell Ada. She made plans for her to leave the palace that night. Ada became more terrified and so sad because she thought, why has life decided to be this unfair to me? I lost my parents. My best friend betrayed me. I got raped and now I am pregnant. Where do I go to? She cried. Olochi gave her some money, consoled her, and promised her that everything will be fine. Oluchi quickly ran back to the palace so no one would notice her absence. Ada took a bus to an unknown destination. She didn't know where she was going to. She just wanted to go far away from the kingdom so no one would ever find her. The next day, the queen was so angry that Ada was nowhere to be found. She summoned Oluchi and asked her where Ada was. Oluchi said she knows nothing about Ada's disappearance, but the queen did not believe her. She summoned the guard to chase her out of the palace. Oluchi was chased out of the palace. Ada found herself in a strange city. Heartbroken and delusional, Ada sought refuge in the kindness of strangers, her tears mingling with the rain as she struggled to come to terms with the injustice that has befallen her. But amidst the darkness, a glimpse of hope emerged. Ada met a young man called Emeka. Emeka took her in and helped her. He assured Ada that she could stay there till she finds herself. After a long time, Ada pulled up a smile and appreciated Emeka. Ada started selling water so she could be able to assist Emeka in taking care of her and her unborn child. Few months later, Ada gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. Emeka was so happy for Ada, but Ada was caught in between sadness and happiness. Weeks passed. Ada would always carry her baby to sell water. One day, Emeka decided to help her take care of the baby while she goes for her normal hustle. As Ada was going, a strange thing happened. She got hit by a car and died at the spot. Emeka, on hearing the news, ran to the accident scene just to help Ada. But unfortunately, Ada was already gone. Emeka was left with the responsibility of taking care of Ada's child. As years passed, Ada's son grew into a strong and noble man, his spirit untainted by the sins of his father. Obinna has grown into a very handsome man. Emeka decided that it was time for him to know who his real father was, so he decided to take him to the palace. On getting there, the king was so angry that no one told him about this. He was so angry and did not believe that the child was his. So they decided to conduct a DNA test. After the test, he found out that Obinna was his son, his first fruit. He was so happy. The queen was so angry because she wanted her own son to be the heir apparent to the throne. The queen and her son devised means to kill Obinna, but the spirit of Ada will always stand up for him. One day, the queen poisoned the food that was meant for Obinna, but the king ate the food instead, and he died. The queen was so angry. Now, it was time for Obinna to claim his birthright, but he found himself embroiled in a big struggle of power, pitted against the queen and her son. The queen became more angry and devised more plots. She sent assassins to kill Obinna on his way back to the palace, but unfortunately for her, her son returned earlier than Obinna, and the assassins killed him instead, thinking it was Obinna. The queen was so broken and angry at the same time. She lost her husband, she lost her son, and now she lost the throne. She confessed to the elders of all her evil deeds, and she was banished from the village. Obinna took his place as the rightful heir to the throne. He was crowned the new king of Eldoria, and so the tale of Ada came to a tragic end. Her life, a testament to the cruelty and injustice of the world. What did you learn from this story? Let me know in the comment section. If you love this story, please hit on the subscribe button, hit on the notification bell to get notified each time we drop new stories. Like, comment and share with your family and friends. Bye.